Oh, hello there. Good evening. You're listening to the Melovania Mallways, Danganronpa Diaries time, and you catch me at a good moment where I've just seen a character die. I'm very sad about it. Before I start the investigation, well, I thought I would just fill you in. So, spoilers for Danganronpa 1, spoilers for Danganronpa 2 up until Chapter 4, and a smattering of Endgame spoilers. And yeah, if you're cool with that, let's just jump on in. So, Wizard of Oz theory is real. And Mikan was the lion. Unless I'm mistaken, the Tin Man has been smashed. And God, what a man he was. I had so much fun today doing just like the daily life thing building up to the death where Mecha Maru got to have his moment. He was just such a funny character. And I will say an important part of my predictions I'm trying to make are is there a possibility that someone like Akane wouldn't respect him as like the real Nekomaru? And like, is it possible that there just isn't enough of him to make him the real Nekomaru? Because while yes, and I feel like this might be the record holder for the most amount of 100 Lion or Danganronpa 1 connections in one video, buckle up for them. Well, there is the like, oh my god, it's just like Ima in Scenario Zero. Ima was like, you know, we saw the operation basically. We know that it was his brain that was put inside C-Ray. There was never a question of like, is Egg Ima actually Ima? With Nekomaru or Mekamaru, I wonder if part of the class trial isn't going to be talking about Akane and like whether she actually sees him as the real him, which is an infinitely more interesting topic than I would ever expect to have explored by these characters that I just disrespected over and over again and had to accept as interesting late game characters and be dragged through the muck. Like Sonia. Who doesn't love Sonia? I will never adjust to this. I'll never adjust to this. I'm literally like, man, which of them is gonna die? No, neither of them are gonna die. Of course, Akane and Sonia are both gonna start. What are we talking about here? I've been comically wrong. But anyhow, the Tin Man has been smashed, which suggests that the lion was penetrated. And I don't really care to go into that. I really don't. But today was right. So I played the whole. Oh my god. The whole daily life segment, which is a famous Game Grumps meme where they crashed out here. And I had been bracing for this. I didn't know what it would be. I didn't know when it would happen. And when it hit me, it felt like the meme that I don't know if I can find. I'm not even going to try to find. But there was a post on, I think, Twitter that went around where it was average American man who just did a 76-hour shift in one day in the mines, finally getting enough money to take his kids to the LA Dodgers game when Gargura, the anime shark girl, gets out and starts singing the national anthem. And it's just like this man, I think he's like looking up at a TV or something, and I feel like something's on fire and he just looks miserable, and it's just this image of like, what do you want? Just like very out of place kind of thing. That's how I felt going through all of Chapter 3, 20 hours of this game, being so deep in the pits of despair, and all of a sudden getting flashbanged by the strawberry and grape towers.
Other side of the door that we went through!
So wait, you mean to tell me that if you walk through a door and you end up in a different room with the door you just walked through behind you?
And so, if you think about it, and put those two together. Ah! How did they do that? The two towers are the same building, and each house connects to the center. That's the building structure that comes to mind. Thank you.
What?
Thank you.
Strawberry Tower. Wait, what? Strawberry Tower and Grape Tower are the same building? What possible reason could you have to believe that?
She does that like slow head turn, like.
Are you serious? I just told you.
But that might be a possibility.
The strawberry and grape towers is such a funny Game Grumps bit. I might even do a clip here where they just crash out over how dumb these characters are, and you know, it's such a memeable thing. Me and my friends joke about it. I think me and Liz had a little bit of a joke about it, and then in Tokyo, me, Liz, and Hunter saw like a building with a grape and a strawberry on it, and we kind of had a laugh about that. So it was already like a big meme, and it happened, and it was so funny. It was honestly really well paced. So we start by going to Island 4. And it's a fake out where they have this elaborately made Disneyland world. And we have like Monomi's house, which is this haunted house that got hit by a fucking Monokuma rocket and is full of blood and says like Kusomi on the door, which is so funny. There's Nezumi Castle, or Mouse Castle, which is like the knockoff Disney Cinderella Castle. And I was sitting here like, oh, I didn't expect there to be Sonia stuff in this chapter, but we've got the Sonia one. There's like a roller coaster, more about that in the wholesome break I'm about to take in a couple minutes. And there's all this stuff that looks like it's just going to be another place to have the murders happen, like Chapter 3's island, which is a really cool island. I don't think I ever stopped to say that. Island 3, Chapter 3, like, man, even if Ibuki didn't die, the atmosphere of Chapter 3 was really cool. And I think it had kind of like a Western Americana kind of vibe, but then it also had like Akihabara, Electric Town. I don't know. It was cool. Yeah, I don't know. Chapter 3 was very, very cool. Anyhow, we think that we're going to have a Disney World chapter, and we ride on the roller coaster, and that's a whole cute thing. And then Hajime is like, wait, Monokuma also said that if we want to learn something or like get some kind of information or get something about the boat or whatever, or maybe it was the boat part, we have to all get together and go to the Dokury house, which I have to translate now. Is Dokury not a word? Wasn't he saying that all day? I will get back to you on what this house is actually called, but I'm guessing it's like a mystery house or something like that. I swear to hell he was saying Dokury all day and that I would just put it into G-Show and learn that it means like mystery or surprise or whatever. But he's like, let's go to the mystery house. And we get on the most suspicious fucking train in the world. And it looks like it's gonna be a cute thing the way the roller coaster was. And then he fucking gasses us. He just fucking gasses us. And we wake up in the grape and strawberry room. And Chapter 4 is actually us being trapped in these two towers and not able to get outside and not able to see the sunlight and starving until somebody finally kills somebody. Oh, we're gonna have the Disney World island. Wrong! Gas bomb! You're going into the Dokury house. Or whatever it's actually called. And when you're exploring the Dokury house, you're hanging out with Mekamaru because fucking after having to deal with Mikan being a liar and everyone being like, what? How could you possibly doubt your friend? Komayada plants the egg of like, what if Hajime is the betrayer? Because we know there's still a backstabber. Monokuma says there's still a backstabber. One who I think has a connection to the Mirai. One who definitely has a connection to the Mirai group. The future group. And Komayada's like, what if it's Hajime? Nah, Bert, everybody forgives him. But Soda fucking doesn't. And Soda spends the whole chapter grilling Hajime and treating us like shit because he thinks we're the fucking backstabber. Even though it's confirmed like halfway through that nobody else is suspicious of us. Either way, there's this theme of like doubting each other in the chapter. And yeah, that's just kind of happening, and we all start to go crazy inside the house. And because at least enough of us were suspicious of Hajime, or Hajime drew the short straw and was like the last to choose pairs when we split off to choose, Soda was like, nah, fuck you, man, and left him with Mekamaru, who, I guess in a less wholesome note, I guess I'll talk about that after the wholesome part. We're gonna see. I don't. The two of them were kind of stuck together, and he's such a funny, like especially more so than before, like super duper optimistic and like happy to be alive character, which makes it so sad that he's the death and that I knew the whole time he was going to die either this chapter or next chapter. The two of you hang out together and explore the whole building, and I don't think too much of the rest of the details really matter for this. They'll probably come up when I'm talking about the class trial. But yeah, we explore the thing that we're trapped in. People get hungry and start to go crazy. Soda is again, this is a terrible Soda chapter all in all. There's this new bit where Sonia is kind of obsessed with Gundam, of all people. It starts really subtle, where they pair off for a couple things, and then it's like, oh, they paired off and they fucking ditched us. And then Sonia starts like really like, I don't know, like there's a bit where Soda doesn't like he refers to Gundam's hamsters as hamsters instead of like shadow warriors or whatever the fuck he calls them. And Sonia's like, you need to apologize right now. And he's like, shit, okay, I'll apologize, or something like that. And then a minute later, not in the same like breath, Chiaki calls them hamsters, and there is no such reaction. It's getting ridiculous. Sonia was like gassing up Gundam and how cool his hamsters are, and he blushes super hard, and he has like a cute blushy thing where he's hiding behind the scarf, cause like no one gives a shit about him. No one gives a shit about his super intense chuny bit. But Sonia's like, this is sick, like awesome, man. Like the hamsters had been a super like under the table once per chapter kind of bit before, but they start to get mentioned a little bit more. I think the Game Grumps had a bit about we should just eat the hamsters for dinner tonight, but the game doesn't make that joke. Instead, Chiaki is like, or somebody, maybe Sonia and Chiaki, it might be the same conversation. They're like, oh, like, are the hamsters okay to like be fine? He's like, ha ha ha, like in the Garden of Darkness upstairs in the grape strawberry house, there are sunflower seeds of turmoil which will fill their magical power meter or whatever. So it's like, oh, they're eating seeds and everyone's happy. So there's like a little bit of a focus on the hamsters. Not enough that I think he's the killer. Not at all. I don't know. I don't think that's happening. If anything, I have a feeling that this little like faux love triangle thing is going to be the chapter 5 bit. Which brings me to a random idea I had, not an unexpected idea, but just kind of a random one that popped out while I was thinking about this, where I was thinking I could really picture that being how this ends, based loosely on how the 5 and 6 worked, and the fact that we're running out of people. What I have drawn out here is something that kind of uses that idea to bring us to the conclusion, where this love triangle might be the center of the last murder, possibly? I don't know. We'll see. Or at least the chapter 5 murder, I suspect. But I don't suspect that's what happens in this chapter. Which brings us to, wholesome story time, I guess. Oh yeah, no, somebody fucking destroys Mechamaru with, like, a pillar and a giant hammer, which creates another Danganronpa 1 callback. The robot got hit in the head with a hammer. It's the chapter 3 thing with Robo Justice and Celeste. So fun. I wish I saw more fan art of her with hammers. Like, I get that it's kind of a spoiler, but she looks so funny with a hammer. Imagining her in Smash with like the do hammer. That'd be so funny. Anyhow, wholesome story time. One from real life is I went to the second day of the free Vocaloid fan-made concerts that I can take a train to get to right now. That they've been my Golden Week plans. Like, I'm gonna go to those. I did pictures in the last video at the very end and videos of me meeting the real life anime character mask suit Miku and Luca, who I thought were just somebody's friends. It started like I was already in the venue, and then the fucking masked Miku and Luca come in, and someone's like holding Miku's hand to guide her. So I thought it was just like that guy's friend or girlfriend or something. And then they hang out for the whole concert, and I put a video in the last episode of fucking you can see Miku and Luca just watching the live in their corner of the room. But then afterwards they did like pictures with everybody, and they slowly started to work there. That was they slowly started to work there and take on more responsibilities. They were funny. That was a fun part of it. No, I wish I could just like eternally live in this state of going to these cool fan-made concerts and playing Danganronpa on the train and seeing my friends there and having a good time. But no, unfortunately, I only get to do that 2 days in a row. Poor me, pity me. Today, though, my friend who I am, mostly connected to through Vocaloid at the moment, she invited another friend who I didn't know, and that person came on immediately with, whoa, I love your pins. Anyhow, so you like 100 line, right? And I'm like, I'm sorry, have we met? Have we met? She's like, oh, you have the 100 line pin on your bag. I'm like, Oh, you're the first person to ever clock that. She reveals that she is a long time, like Komaeda 2015 Tumblr, long time Danganronpa fan who got like more seriously into it just now since 2x2 got announced. And she's like making her own fan page on Tumblr where she's gonna try to collect like what sounds like heritage posts. Like she's really locked in on Danganronpa right now, but she's also been a fan since middle school. And we talked a bit about it. I'm like, you meet me at a funny time because my brain is nothing but Danganronpa 2 and Vocaloid concerts right now. And we had some conversations, and she has a brain for like really tracking down merch stuff. Like she knew all of the promotions, everything going on for the 15th anniversary, all that stuff. And I mentioned that Ibuki was my fave, and she was like, I will find you Ibukis. Like she was bringing like all this stuff I'd never heard of, like 100 yen dollar stores. So some of them, there's like a organization of different kinds of dollar stores, and they sometimes all share the same promotions, and those promotions can be collabs with anime. I did not know that. She's like, oh yeah, my dollar store can get you a Ibuki plastic standee if you spend $10, but I don't know about yours. I'm like, this is crazy power. So she was being so sweet and like, you know, informing me of all that stuff. And it comes out that her favorite character is Mikan. And she's like a lifetime Mikan fan. And I woke up this morning like, I think I hate Mikan. I think she's the only character I hate. Because it's fun to hate Togami. It's not fun to hate Mikan. It just makes me uncomfortable with all like the weirdness with her. But we didn't talk much about it, but she was like, yeah, I don't know. It was easy. It was kind of embarrassing to say, but like, you know, it was easy to relate to her for some reasons in middle school. And I'm like, I guess that kind of makes it all worth it. I don't know. As long as she's meaningful to some people. And I think I used to have like a local Love Live Oomphy who might possibly have. Actually, no, I think her at was Chica's Mikons. She might still be Chica's Mikons. And I think she was a Mikan icon sometimes. I wouldn't have meant anything to me in 2019. But if Mikan means something to the shy, paperclip style people of the world who falter under a small breeze, or have had periods of their life where they falter under a small breeze and are just full of love, power to them. I think the universe brought this person to me to stop me from becoming a full-on Mikan hater 2 days after Mikan murdered Ibuki in cold blood. That was a very sweet memory. That was fun. We had a good date together. I liked that. Game-related wholesome stuff. They did the cutest art ever with this stupid little Chapter 4 group, and I learned I can take screenshots on Vita, which is such a boon. Like, this is one of the most screenshotable consoles I have. It's like, there's so many things I wish I could have screenshotted now. I have to, like, control myself. Sadly, it's almost, like... Oh, it's a little late, honestly. Like, I've already done Danganronpa Diaries Series 1. I'm halfway through Series 2. You know, I'm going to be using the Switch for 2x2, and you're going to be seeing my reactions on stream, so we'll see what there even is for Diaries, and I'm sure I'll be itching to get my fill with V3, but I'm just not really passionate about V3 yet, so am I even going to do V3 Diaries? When is that going to happen? Is the novelty going to be there? I don't know, but we at least will have a much higher quality of little things to look at here and there while I am making this insane feral Super Diaries 2 series. So yeah, this is the roller coaster scene, and it's so fucking cute. Everybody looks so cute. Kicking myself forever disliking Sonia. Oh my god, she's so cute. Hajime is so cute. Chiaki's so cute. I love this game so much that I'm not even looking at this image right now. It is burned into my mind. I am 98% Danganronpa 2 by volume right now. Soda's funny. His thing is that he like did not want to go on the fucking roller coaster and he thinks he's gonna die. Gundam doesn't say it, but he's like about to faint. Akane at least looks cute even if it's another super revealing shot. Oh my god. Fucking... Fuyuhiko is so cute that I think he's the killer. At this point, like, I have my reasoning. I'll talk about my theory, but this is such a precious, just unabashedly precious drawing of him that it feels like a little bit of a farewell, if I'm being completely honest. And then falling off the back falling off the back a whole row behind everybody else is my buddy Mechamaru. It's sure he's really big, and I get why you wouldn't want him like in front of people because there's like bolts falling off and everything, but why is he a whole row behind Akane? It's really cute, but it seems like it was really foreshadowing his death. And then there's the not cute at all thing where they get on the train and get gas before getting sent to the Dokuri house, or whatever word that actually is. The Decritty house? I don't know. Tickery Dickory Dock house? I'm not sure. But that was just such a sweet memories. All the characters I said were gonna die, having fun at Nezumi Land. Actually, Nezumi and Disney sound really similar in Japanese, so a lot of people will just straight up call it Nezumi Land. Like, you know, people kind of call it Mouse Land or the House of the Mouse in English America or whatever. But in Japan, a lot of times in classrooms, like if you bring up Disneyland, it's like, oh, Nezumi Land. That's like a pretty popular nickname, actually. Yeah, this chapter doesn't take place in Nezumi Land. So now back to the meat of things. I have a whole page of notes. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do this like all I did was the grape and strawberry house episode, but hey, it's the grape and strawberry house episode. So my number one theory, and this might sound complicated, but I am locked in on it. When we break up to investigate the strawberry and grape houses or towers, Fuyuhiko is, okay, after Tanaka and Sonia bail, Fuyuhiko is like, I'd like to have a word with Akane. And Komaeda is like, oh yeah? That's a very strange pairing. And it's like, well, I want to talk to her, which is super random. And now this isn't wholesome at all. I think because of the extenuating circumstances, because they knew at this point that they were trapped here until somebody kills somebody or fucking dies. Amazing Game Grumps bit, by the way. I'm just gonna kill myself and let you guys all go. Fuyuhiko. He definitely cares about everybody. That's, you know, Chapter 2 class trial establishes that. He definitely feels bad about Peko Peko dying for him. I did not see conviction in him killing Mahiru and setting all that up, so I think he feels guilt about Mahiru. And he did a lot to try and make it up to Hiyoko in Chapter 3, but she was dead so soon, and I just feel like they didn't really get that much time to make peace. Like, there were like a couple scenes maybe where they could try to make peace. I feel like Fuyuhiko's gonna make a sacrifice here. And the sacrifice is Nekomaru. And my theory might not be airtight, because if Fuyuhiko truly is just trying to get everybody out, or specifically Akane to get further, like, I might be being too optimistic here, but I think him and Akane, I think what they talked about is the question of whether Akane actually likes Mechamaru, because after Ibuki's trial, I'll take no notes on that titling, Monokuma calls them to the beach, and it's supposed to be like a happy reunion with Miyoda. No, sorry. Mio Mark? What the fuck is his? I just learned his last name. Nekomaru, not Miyoda. Nidai. They're supposed to reunite with Nidai. And Monokuma was like, you didn't listen to all the details. And they see him, and everyone's like, it takes a good second to process the fact that he is a robot. But like, that's the first scene where he's nothing but happy. And that's the thing, is like, he hasn't even had like a moment of melancholy. Like, he wasn't alive long enough. I loved him. He has such good sprites. His design is so cute. He's just so funny. And that's fine. But at the same time, the fact that there is like zero, like, I don't know, I just feel like he I don't know, he does reference the remorse. Like, people keep being like, are you sure you're okay with this? And he's like, oh, well, of course I have my regrets, but I'm gonna make the most of being a robot. I love being a robot. But Akane just, she just doesn't really have the moment of reaccepting him that I'm expecting. She seems to consistently be one of the more cold people towards him, and I just don't see them spending time together. And, you know, we literally had an activity where people break off in pairs, and they didn't pair off. Like, like, this is the guy who died for you, basically, and you were inseparable. like she really respected him. They were really close. And basically, I just feel like I didn't get that moment of her like pouring her heart out until he was dead. And there's the CG of her holding his head in her arms. And I always have to take a couple minutes to just be sad with the death scenes. Like, especially looking at the victims of this game, it's just, there hasn't been one that I'm not sad about. I'm so sad. All 4 of these victims, great fucking characters. I'm so sad every time. So I had a moment of, I was sad for him. And seeing her holding him, I'm like, man, she really is a good character. Like, I am happy that I got to see her do all these things. Like, she's just interesting to have around for being so simple. And she keeps being interesting enough. Like, I am happy Akane's here. At the same time, going on the theme of distrusting crocodile tears, I think that might have been fake. Because, like, where was the tears before? Where was the happiness for being alive? From what I got from this chapter so far, Akamaru loves his life, and Akane wanted nothing to do with him. And, like, yeah, they didn't sit together. They didn't sit anywhere near each other in those CGs of riding the rides. I think it's possible that the class trial could be about Akane and maybe Fuyuhiko. Or maybe Fuyuhiko talks to Akane about this. I think Akane is the one to decide, like, is this still him? Right? Is this actually still him? Because if not, if they feel like this is just a clone, if they feel like there isn't enough of him left to warrant, like, being attached to him, I feel like Fuyuhiko kills him and gets executed and everybody gets to go. I still feel like that's a little bit iffy because it's just better to fess up, basically. And I doubt they're going to fess up because we kind of need to have a class trial for pacing. Although the whole grape strawberry house was already such a huge diversion from the ordinary routine and so refreshing, frankly, with its insanity, that maybe we are just going to skip the class trial. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, if Akane thinks that he is just kind of like an imposter, maybe Fuyuhiko takes the fall, kills him, and gets executed because he just doesn't feel like he deserves to keep going at this point. I mean, at this point where it feels like somebody has to die or everybody's gonna starve. It's a very sickening trap. There's a reason they made it so, like, fucking goofy. It's freaky. So that's my theory. I feel a little bit weird about it. Maybe I should just say Akane kills him. I don't know. It's hard. I can't do it. I can't really write off Akane or Sanya anymore. I just can't. Not when Chiaki is such a up in the air thing. There's not enough girls left. It's just, I don't know. I'm looking at a surviving party of like 4 people minus Chiaki and Komaeda who are just gonna be plot whatever. I don't know. I can't really quite let go of them unless they're like the final death. I don't know. So number 2 would then be suicide. And this gets really spicy because who could destroy him? he took like a super strong attack from Monokuma on the chest. There's a pillar that fell down in the night and got shattered. He took a hit to the head. There is a giant hammer, and there's a bunch of other wounds to his limbs. So it's weird. It kind of looks like there was a battle, but he's also tied up, and it was established that he has a sleep mode. So if somehow you could get him to the room in the middle where he died, and then turn him into sleep mode, then you could maybe kill him by breaking the pillar on him. But who can even break a pillar? I guess the hammer could break the pillar, but I don't know. It does seem possible that he killed himself because everybody else was starting to go crazy from hunger. He was the only one who didn't have to eat, which I think might have also been driving up tensions toward him if there were people that already didn't accept him. It's possible that he was able to clearly look at the situation and say, like, I've had a good second run. These guys still have their flesh bodies. I'm going to let them live, which makes me very heartstringy because I wanted him to live. I liked him. I'm sad. And it's going to be funny seeing flesh Nekomaru next time because, like, I feel like I formed all of this fondness to almost a different version of him. Maybe I'm the problem. I love the robot and not the man, and the man deserved to live, and this is just a farce. So I don't know. I have a feeling that's where things are going to go if Akane is involved. But here's the thing. We start to reference Danganronpa 1 in this chapter. We get given a file that straight up refers to the killing game of Hope's Peak Academy. It has a bunch of random cutscenes, including fucking Toko cutting Aoi. That's just such a random thing to have in there. But it has the surviving cast, and they look at Togami and they say, why is Togami there? I genuinely don't know if it's the real Togami or not. I can't make a prediction on that. I cannot tell you. I feel like it shouldn't be, but if it is, that's fucking hilarious. I don't know. I liked him better this time, at least. It just feels weird. Like, how would you get him back here? Aren't these all first years? I don't know. Either way, they get given this file they can't really make heads or tails of about the killing game, but then inside the Grape Tower, there's a statue of Sakura, and it's called the Ogre. It's just straight up Sakura Ogami. And I think this is a lot. I think there's a lot going on here. So chapter 4, Danganronpa 1 was Sakura's suicide, and it was Sakura the double crosser, and all of the drama with Sakura and Toko and Togami not liking her, and in the end she kills herself to bring everybody together. So there are a bunch of like layers of references that I caught on this. So the first one is just like, it's chapter 4, so we're gonna have Sakura, the main character of chapter 4. But then on the second layer, she's the jock character. She's the big jock character. And the tensions to me were so high with the jock characters that were remaining that I was pretty locked into like, okay, I think this is gonna happen. Like it's gonna be Nekomaru's death probably. Then you get to the next one where Sakura's death sealed the surviving party, like I just said, and she did it by sacrificing herself. So, if Fuyuhiko takes out Nekomaru and the remaining cast is more or less the surviving party, then Sakura would be a hell of a little symbol of what's about to happen. And then if it's suicide of all things, it's basically telling you exactly what's going to happen, even though it's using the visuals of the deaths from chapter 3 last time, which would not be suicide. That would make you think he was killed, but who could even kill this guy, you know? Maybe it is suicide, just like her. And then the final possible layer is the reason this all happened, is that she's a double agent. So could there be a double agent who's not Chiaki? I don't think it's likely, because, I mean, I don't know. It could be anybody. I tried to pencil down, like, who could the double agent even be? And it's like, oh, it's Akane. Like, oh, because she seems ditzy. Well, that's more or less what Sakura was. She wasn't exactly contributing a lot in the thinking department. Oh, it's Fuyuhiko. Wasn't that kind of obvious? Like, oh, it's Sonia. Like, it seems kind of obvious, too. No matter who I say, like, was actually the double agent, it feels like, at the same time, too obvious and not interesting. The double agent has the backstabber. They have to be Chiaki. But it's technically possible. Maybe he was the double agent, and that's why Monokuma was so keen to make him again. But not a third time, or not a second time. He's like, nah, this really can't be done. This is moody. I can't fix this guy. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Leave him. I don't care. I never cared. You don't care, obviously. Yeah. So yeah, because of that, I feel like there might be room for the suicide possibility. But after that, like, I think Soda is a red herring, because he was the one who got the most, like, hot under the collar and aggressive once he got hungry. He really had a shitty chapter. I think Hajime saving his ass during the trial is gonna be when he accepts Hajime and steps into, like, his last role as, like, your friend. I don't know. It just can't last. The stupid tension with him can't last. Because the Sonia simping thing is already getting old. The only reason I'm not sick of the Sonia simping is that we're finally starting to hint at her side of things. And her side of things is that she is obsessed with the guy that he kind of hates, which is so much funnier. But Soda's, like, running out of shit to do. But Soda hasn't been a suspect for more than like a minute when Fuyuhiko brought it up in Ibuki's trial. Like, I just don't think that really counts, and there were two of them. I think Soda is going to be under heat first because he was getting hot under the collar, and he's the mechanic, so maybe he would know how to destroy a robot, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking anything else is just weird, and yeah. I think Fuyuhiko takes the fall. Akane helps. Akane helping would explain how they could do a lot of the stuff to kill him. Or maybe he kills himself. I don't know. It'd be sad. It'd be really sad. But I have a hunch that there's an emotional layer that hasn't been shared that's going to come out during the class trial. Either him being guilty or seeing this as the best option, or Akane seeing him as an imposter. Yeah, so I mentioned I had my idea for the ending. I think it's either going to be Sonya or Gundam are the last death in Chapter 5. The bad end gets somebody executed, but then that's a bad ending. And then the final party is Akane, Soda, Hajime, and whoever doesn't die, Sonya or Gundam. It's also technically possible that Chiaki dies, and if you don't realize that she was the Wizard of Monomi, that we all lose, because technically Chiaki dying next kind of would be foreshadowed by the Wizard of Oz theory. You would have had the Chapter 3 victim, well, one of them, the Chapter 3 killer, then the next killer was the Tin Man, or the next victim was the Tin Man. The person who killed the Tin Man was not part of Wizard of Oz theory, but after that, like, we are supposed to deal with the Wizard of Monomi, so maybe Chiaki dies and there's some kind of final trap we fall into if we fuck it up. I don't know. It might not be as straightforward as doing a final trial and getting a true ending again, but we're running out of characters, so maybe Komaeda dies. That also crossed my mind. I feel like he would be more of a Chapter 6, like, self-sacrifice kind of thing. I don't know. I will say that I'm starting to predict Komaeda self-sacrifice because there hasn't actually been that much Komaeda craziness. I thought he'd be involved in everything since the first chapter, but if I think about it, he's actually been kind of mild. He could have been really messing with things in chapters 2 and 3, and he wasn't. Knock on wood. I mean, maybe he was involved in this, but we'll see. Last of all, let's just go to the favorite ranking. Not much has changed, but I've noticed some funny themes. So, now that Mikan has fallen to 2, she is now at the point that Sonya began, and Sonya has climbed higher than Mikan ever was. I actually started Mikan fairly generously at 5, so comparing those two charts is really funny. I literally, like, took one character out and put another character into my heart. Nekomaru went out at 6.5. That's becoming a pretty good tier. That's where Hajime is. I just liked him a lot. I'm excited to see more of him. He was funny, and Nekomaru was so much better than the form change for Taka. So much better. Oh yeah, by the way, another thing is the form change character dies in the very next chapter by getting hit in the head with a hammer. Taka and Nekomaru. Most things are the same. I brought Fuyuhiko and Gundam up to 7. I put Chiaki up to 7. She's just cool, and I like her. We'll see what happens with them. Soda has not gone down, even though he's testing me. I just feel like there's gonna be some kind of like, oh, he's chill again now. I don't know. There's no way he's this shitty the whole time. Komaeda went back down. He's kind of gross. Don't like him that much. Yeah, Akane is up. Akane and Sonya are both up at 6, I think. 6 is a nice place. They really have earned their keep. I've appreciated them. Yeah, good job, Akane and Sonya. Let's hope you're still alive in 24 hours. Peace.
If that's the case, it would...
I mean, it's possible this game is just like a social experiment to see if it can make the person playing it go completely batty.
Wait, you mean to tell me?
These are the people that survived because they were clever enough to avoid getting killed.
He's like holding up his finger too. He's like, if you think about it, it makes sense.
Light bulb, ding.
It would mean that Strawberry House is beyond that door with the strawberry image on it.